Minority journalists face many unfair obstacles in the newsroom throughout their career. The biggest issue is that not all journalists are treated equally. In most cases, it is minority journalists who feel there's a lack of diversity in the newsroom. In an article published by Pew Research Center, they stated Black, Hispanics, and Asian journalists are often less likely than white journalists to say that employees are treated fairly in all three areas: gender, race, and ethnicity, and in each case more likely to think that employees are not treated fairly. This same pattern applies to female journalists compared with male journalists and for younger journalists compared with their older colleagues. There continues to be a lack of diversity in the newsroom. One of the biggest challenges these reporters face is underrepresentation. Unfortunately, these individuals may enter a newsroom where they find themselves being the only minority in the newsroom, which often leads to feelings of isolation and pressure to represent their entire community. Addition to this, a minority journalist working in a newsroom that lacks culture may have to deal with higher-ups overlooking stories relevant to their community or handle them insensitively. Working at a newsroom like this for so long, they may even overlook these type of crucial stories themselves. Additionally, minority journalists may feel an extra pressure to cover stories that are related to their own ethnicity or culture. This can be limiting to their professional growth. Another big issue is bias and discrimination. These things work in the way to put obstacles in the way of these journalists. More often than not, these minority journalists will face aggression, stereotyping, and possibly microaggression from peers, superiors, and even people they're interviewing. Dealing with all this as a minority journalist can have a big impact on mental health. Dealing with all these obstacles and challenges can take a big toll on these journalists. This can lead to these individuals having less involvement with the industry or even leaving majority press as a whole, which causes us to have even less diverse reporting. Minority journalists being discriminated against causes many issues, such as a lack of reporters or anchors with diverse backgrounds, thoughts, and this causes there to be news that inaccurately portrays what is going on in the world. Addressing these issues requires a concentrated effort from newsroom leadership to actively work to dismantle systematic biases and barriers. I think implementing anti-discrimination policies, providing support groups for journalists, and holding leadership accountable are important steps to ensure newsrooms are promoting inclusion. It is also important to provide minority journalists with equal support and equal opportunity for career advancement as their peers and ensuring they have all they need. This also involves providing support and resources for minority journalists to thrive and succeed in their careers. In conclusion, the challenges facing minority journalists within the media industry are multifaceted and deeply intertwined. Despite moving towards inclusive journalism and reporting in the past few years, we are still facing obstacles having equal opportunity in the newsroom. Addressing these issues needs the media industry and society as a whole to create environments that have inclusivity, value diversity, and combat discrimination. Thank you for listening.